In the headlines, INEC presents certificate of return to President and Vice President-elect in Abuja. PDP LP head to court. Court remands House Majority Leader Ado Doguwa to prison. House member-elect arrested for firearms possession. Fire guts Kano Market, destroys 80 shops. And on the foreign scene, Greek Transport Minister resigns over train crash that killed dozens. Hello and welcome to Trust TV News Update. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Hello and welcome once again. We begin with the 2023 general elections, where the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, on Wednesday presented certificates of return to the President-elect, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and the Vice President-elect, Kashim Shettima, in Abuja. The presentation by the INEC chairman, Mahmoud Yakubu, came hours after Tinubu was declared the winner of Saturday's poll after garnering 8,794,726 votes to defeat his closest rival, Atiku Abubakar of the PDP, who scored 6,984,520 votes. The report.
Delivering his acceptance speech, Nigeria's President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu appealed to fellow contestants, the youth and women, to team up with him in the task of making Nigeria a better country for all.
For this to be a victory at all, it cannot simply be a victory for one man or even one party. It must become a victory for all Nigerians who are committed to a greater society.
Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu assured that the President-elect will replicate his track record of unprecedented development in previous positions in the country.
Total commitment, energy, and be able to put together a team that will serve Nigerian people, a team that can turn around, the very, very difficult situation that our country will find ourselves, and turn, the ship around onto prosperity, and give hope to the hopeless, and be able to bring the youth, the young energy that we have in this country, bring them forward. And he mentioned it too, that at some day, this certificate should be held by a woman, this certificate should be held by a youth, this certificate should be held by an ethnic national that is on a minority. I mean, this is a very profound, strong statement, and confirmation of his.
On the credibility of the electoral process, Governor of Kaduna State, Nasir El-Rufai, says claims of election rigging are unfounded, while commending the effort of the Independent National Electoral Commission in ensuring transparency and integrity of the process.
I'm as old as Nigeria, and I've participated in all elections since 1978. And in my view, this is the most credible election that ever took place in Nigeria. The fact that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu lost his state and I lost my state, President Buhari lost his state to the opposition, shows that this election was credible, because if there is anywhere we can manipulate or rig the election, it is in the state. So, those that are shouting that the election is rigged are only shouting the election was rigged in places where they won. But in places where we lost and where we used to be very strong and we lost, we didn't complain because we believe in the credibility of the election. So,
Bola Ahmed Tinubu, a former Lagos State governor who will become Nigeria's president on 29th May 2023 when he takes over from President Muhammadu Buhari, won in 12 of Nigeria's 36 states and secured the constitutional 25% in 2/3 of all the states. Aisha Salihu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Meanwhile, the Labour Party says the incoming government will have legitimacy problems owing to the election that brought it to power. The vice presidential candidate of the Labour Party, Yusuf Dettibaba Ahmed, said this while addressing a press briefing in Abuja on Wednesday. He, however, said that he enjoined supporters of the party to be calm and peaceful, saying they will challenge the outcome of the election in court. Noel Samson reports.
The Labour Party came third in the election with over 6 million voters trailing behind APC and PDP that came first and second. Ahmed Datti, however, said the elections is not a reflection of the will of the Nigerian voters.
As evident, the institutions of the state and leaders that were supposed to ensure the sanctity of the election, again, and as in the past, collaborated and colluded to subvert the will of the good people of Nigeria. Please be assured of our determination to fight the injustice that have been perpetrated on Nigerians through all legal and peaceful means. While painful, we implore you all to please remain peaceful and calm, as our fight and determination for a new Nigeria is just beginning.
He asked their supporters to be calm and assuring them of fight through all legal and peaceful means.
Let me sincerely thank all Nigerians for their belief in us and for coming out en masse to vote for the Labour Party and for the cause they believe in, the birth of a new Nigeria. We're immensely grateful to the youth, obedience, and all support groups, including Nigerians in diaspora, for their sacrifices, conduct, and commitment to a better Nigeria. It is our position that the purported result did not meet the minimum criteria of a transparent, free, and fair election. In addition to the most condemnable attacks, violence, voter intimidation, and suppression, the election was conducted in clear violation of agreed and promised INEC rules and guidelines, the Electoral Act 2002 as amended, and indeed the Nigerian Constitution.
Baba Ahmed then urged supporters to vote massively for the party during the governorship and state assembly elections on March 11th. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu has congratulated President Muhammadu Buhari on APC's victory in the just concluded election, as the party leader saying no matter how provocative a defeat, it must be tolerated by Democrats. He said this in an apparent response to reactions of Atiku Abubakar as the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party and Peter Obi of the Labour Party. The duo's parties called for cancellation of the election while collation was underway. They alleged that the process had been manipulated as a result of the non-use of BVAS. While responding to questions from State House reporters after a visit to President Muhammadu Buhari in his country home in Daura, Katsina State, on Wednesday, Tinubu said nation building ought to be paramount to Democrats. Tinubu, who commended the president for supporting democracy in Africa, said he was following the process, building a successor and ready to hand over peacefully.
As a very loyal party man, come to present this advocate of election to him as the party leader, and commend his effort in this supporting democracy in Africa. This is the largest democracy in Africa, and we couldn't have done any better. We're lucky. There's no incident, there's no accident, and no matter how provocative a defeat is, we still have to tolerate it if we are Democrats and we have a nation to build.
And still talking the elections, Lagos State has been in celebration mood since the emergence of former Governor Bola Tinubu as president-elect. His victory elicited celebrations and jubilation in many parts of the country. Tinubu and his running mate Kashim Shettima were presented with certificates of return by the chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Mahmood Yakubu, in Abuja on Wednesday. Tinubu got 8,794,726 votes from the 24,025,940 total valid votes cast. Tinubu's closest challenger and candidate for the People's Democratic Party, Atiku Abubakar, polled 6,984,520 votes, while Peter Obi of the Labour Party garnered 6,101,533 votes. Lagos residents speak on the victory of the national leader of the All Progressives Congress, APC.
What Madam owes is what he's going to do and what he can do, so that based on his campaign promises is well fulfilled. I think that is the bottom line there.
INEC that over-promised the citizens on the issue of their beavers. I am not surprised that they had issues and could not deliver on that promise. But I am annoyed that INEC failed to communicate to people the challenges they were having and why they were not able, where their system was not able to, accept all of the uploading, and why people were not able to monitor the results as were uploaded.
Elect Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu is a master strategist. Yes, I must tell you that. He has started planning for this thing for quite a long time now. He didn't just start today. So, and that's a man that nearly everything he puts his eye on, he succeeds. So him being declared as a winner, albeit some irregularities, it's okay. He worked for it.
The election, when we say there is being rigged, isn't being rigged. If we are accusing that the INEC rigged this election, can they rig it against Asiwaju in his stronghold, which is in Lagos? It's in favor of a Labour Party, and likewise other strongholds. If the other way have gone around, let's accept it and move forward. If there's any way we believe we have conscience, let us approach the law.
And following the declaration of APC candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the winner of the presidential election, many Nigerians have been reacting to the outcome of the polls. Noel Samson reports that some Abuja residents want the president-elect to pursue national political conciliation to consolidate the nation's democratic trajectory. His report.
A two-day marathon of collection exercise at the International Conference Center culminates into declaration of Bola Tinubu as winner of the presidential election held on Saturday, February 25th. Some Nigerians speak on the outcome and the process preceding it.
Actually, as a youth, I am not happy with the result, especially what the INEC do. But there's no way about it. As the new president, I promise that, according to Tinubu, that 4 years going to be 4 years. Let's keep that promise.
In fact, we actually played the role of casting our vote for who we wanted to rule us. But it's unfortunate the election was jeopardized, and as such, we have no option other than to, pray and just wish that this government works out.
Current situation now, we are expectant for a change, for new policies that's going to lift the country's economy up.
For now, I have to go back to my drawing board and strategize and get myself prepared for the next 8 years on how to survive, because we don't really know what the new government holds for us.
These Abuja residents held the electoral process and set an agenda the incoming president should pursue.
By the grace of God, the government of Tinubu will succeed. He will do well. Tinubu will succeed. He will do well. That's well. The election that brought Tinubu to power was free and fair. There was no rigging in that election. He won the election convincingly. You know what I'm telling you? And Tinubu will do well. By God's grace, he will do well.
The agenda of new government or old government are always the same thing. Service to the people is general, but it depends on which government they want to start with. People must learn to understand that this is the most fairest election we have had in this country.
The president-elect Bola Tinubu and the vice president-elect Kashim Shettima will take oath of office on May 29th. Noel Samson, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Meanwhile, mixed reactions have trailed the outcome of last Saturday's presidential and National Assembly elections in Benue State. Those who spoke to Jimmy Azande said the results of the polls represent a new beginning for Nigeria. The report.
Tinubu Bola Ahmed of the APC, having satisfied the requirements of the law, is hereby declared the winner and is returned elected.
March 1st, 2023 will go down the annals of history in Nigeria, as it was on this day that Nigerians woke up to the news of the announcement of the president-elect 3 days after polls were closed. Though characterized by some hitches, many believe the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has done its best as an election umpire.
There has been challenges here and there, but we appreciate the role that the president has played, and of course we also commend INEC, for the process of the election and the role that the INEC too has played. If you look at the results that came, most especially for the presidential elections, you discover that the results were fair. PDP winning even in Katsina State, which is the home state of the president. And of course, Labour Party, also being able to win in states like Lagos.
The immediate past election has witnessed a lot of rancors from aggrieved Nigerians over what they feel should have been, which turned out not to be. However, just like some other persons will agitate, any grieved persons should just approach the court for every necessary action.
The result of the election generally was good. I think at least it was better than what we had in 2019.
For the president-elect, who has been working towards this day for over 2 decades, Nigerians are full of expectations as they reckon that he is indeed prepared for the job. To get it right, they said the president-elect will have to work above board to get results for the country.
Then we're hoping that we're going to have a more robust, nation to come, dynamic, and of course the kind of nation, where, we begin to experience some level of economic prosperity.
Nigerians are looking forward for a savior in the midst of stress, a savior in the midst of perilous time.
With a new installed government, even though he's not been sworn in, but there's a lot of hope from the people that maybe something different will happen, drastically different from what we have had in the past 8 years.
The National Coalition Officer and Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Mahmood Yakub, in the early hours of Wednesday announced and returned Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the winner of the 2023 presidential elections.
And following the declaration of APC candidate Bola Ahmed Tinubu as winner of the 2023 presidential election by the Independent National Electoral Commission, the police command in Ogun State on Wednesday morning staged a show of force across Abeokuta, the state capital. The police and other sister security agencies moved around Abeokuta, especially violence-prone areas in the state capital. The State Commissioner of Police, Frank Mba, while speaking to journalists after the exercise, said the police embarked on the security measures in order to forestall any breakdown of law and order. He further explained that the exercise was also to warn criminals to stay off the state.
We've actually been on a confidence-building patrol. Generally, a confidence-building patrol is a traditional anti-crime measure. But specifically today, this exercise is part of our post-election security measures. It is designed to achieve 2 specific purposes. The first one is to reassure the law-abiding citizens of this state of our capacity, our willingness and our readiness to continue to secure the public space and provide an enabling environment for their economic, social, and other activities to continue to thrive without any threat whatsoever to their day-to-day activities. And then the second objective is to serve as a tool of deterrence and to send a very strong message to hostile elements that this state and the security forces within the state will not tolerate any attempt to break the laws or to cause any kind of breakdown of law and order within the state.
Now to judicial matters, where a magistrate court in Kano has remanded the majority leader of the House of Representatives, Alhassan Ado Doguwa, in correctional custody over charges of culpable homicide and arson. Doguwa was taken before Court 58 of the Magistrate Court in No Man's Land area of the state on Wednesday evening, following his arrest at the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport late on Tuesday. The magistrate, Ibrahim Mansur Yola, gave the remand order after the first information report was read and thereafter adjourned the matter to March 7th. Earlier, the spokesman of the police in the state, SP Haruna Kiawa, in a statement, said Doguwa and others were arrested in connection with a suspected case of criminal conspiracy, culpable homicide, causing grievous hurt, mischief by fire, and inciting disturbance.
Then before the two defendants before the court, and the charge had been read and explained to them in Hausa language. And we have collected the case diary from the police, and we are going to study it and issue legal advice this week. So we cannot say much about it because we don't know what is contained now in the case diary. And the Ministry of Justice is being guided by what is contained in the case diary. This is what has happened, and we are going to issue a final legal advice by the next adjourned date when we are coming back to the court.
When is it? Around 5 charges were read to them, but being there is an offense which is capital offense, the court will not take their plea. So their counsel applied for their bail, and the prosecution state counsel objected to the bail, and then the court, the judge, adjourned the matter for ruling to 7th March 2023.
Meanwhile, a House of Representatives member-elect from Adala Federal Constituency, Kano, Sani Madaikin Guinea, has been arrested by the police for unlawful possession of firearms. This was confirmed by the police public relations officer, Abdullahi Haruna Kiawa, who confirmed that the lawmaker is currently under investigation. He added that the police will not relent in its efforts to ensure that the law is upheld and that everyone, irrespective of his status or position, is held accountable for his actions. The arrest of Sani Madaikin Guinea, who was elected under the platform of the New Nigeria People's Party, has sparked concerns and reactions from various quarters. Some citizens have expressed shock over the incident, while others have called for a thorough investigation and prosecution of anyone found culpable. Still with us on Trust TV News Update. Still ahead. We'll take a look at developing solid mineral communities. Details of this and more after the break. Do stay with us. Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us on Trust TV News Update. Now let's recap our top stories. INEC presents certificate of return to President-elect and Vice President-elect in Abuja. PDP LP head to court. And court remands House Majority Leader Ado Doguwa to prison. House member-elect arrested for firearms possession. And moving on to other news now. The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps, NSCDC, has destroyed 71 illegal refineries and 22 illegal bunkering sites in the last 14 months. Commandant General of the Corps, Ahmad Audi, said the action is to sustain the drive to end oil theft and illegal bunkering. According to him, from January to date, the Corps has moved against activities of criminal elements such as vandals, economic saboteurs and oil thieves with the use of advanced technologies, and impounded 134 trucks, 36 boats and other equipment used in perpetrating illegal oil bunkering in the country. According to Audi, the agency has been making steady and remarkable progress in line with the theme of this year's World Civil Defense Day, noting that since his appointment exactly 2 years ago, disaster management, risk assessment, crime detection and prevention, protection of critical national assets and infrastructure like petroleum pipelines, electrical installations, communications equipment, roads, railways and others have relatively improved from what it used to be. Now to legislative matters, where a bill for an act to establish the Nigerian Solid Mineral Communities Development Commission has scaled second reading in the House of Representatives. In a lead debate, the bill's sponsor, Representative Osai, Nicholas Osai, said the bill aims to take care of communities that play host to mining activities. He also noted that the bill, when passed into law, will bring in infrastructure and reduce environmental degradation in those communities. Other lawmakers who contributed to the debate said the passage of the bill will not only cure the gap of peanuts given to host communities, but develop and reduce restiveness.
Just like me, from the Niger Delta area, having NDDC to support the community. I feel the community should be supported all equally when solid minerals are mined from their backyard, distorting the ecosystem. Because there's no way you can mine the solid mineral in any environment that it won't distort the ecosystem. It is in this light, Mr. Speaker, that I brought this bill to kill most of these lapses.
We can be able to enhance all the opportunities arising from those areas. And I so strongly support this bill. And Mr. Speaker, I want to put more emphasis on the local content aspect of it so that our youth can be employed and get a better opportunities.
My contribution I want to make is actually the welfare. Let there be community participation, both capacity building and job creation, so that there won't be any community restiveness.
When this bill eventually sees the light of day, because I believe it will, because of the importance, the level of development that will be spread across the horizon in Nigeria will be unprecedented.
And now to Kano State, where an early morning fire on Wednesday destroyed 6 shops and 74 temporary stalls at the popular Kurmi Books Market in the metropolis. Confirming the incident, a spokesman of the Kano State Fire Service, Aminu Yusuf Abdullahi, said they received an emergency call from one Aliyu Al-Qasim, who reported the outbreak. He said the fire service successfully saved several shops within the market area, adding that no injury was recorded as a result of the inferno. He said the cause of the incident is still under investigation. Now for a look at the foreign scene, where Greek Prime Minister Kyriakos Mitsotakis has blamed human error for a collision between 2 trains that killed at least 38 people in the country's worst rail tragedy that triggered the resignation of the transport minister. The crash took place outside the central city of Larissa late on Tuesday, when a passenger train heading from the capital Athens to Thessaloniki collided with a cargo train traveling from the northern city. Some of the passenger carriages exploded in flames from the impact. Kostas Karamanlis, Greece's transport minister, resigned after visiting the site of the crash, saying he felt it was his duty to step down. At least 66 people were injured in the crash, including 6 in intensive care, while about 250 passengers, some with minor injuries, were evacuated safely by bus to Thessaloniki, about 130 kilometers away. And that wraps up Trust TV News Update for this hour. For more news, you can subscribe and follow us across all our social media platforms. I am Ibrahim Yusuf. Thanks for watching.